7-year-old stops her dad's funeral. What cops found inside the coffin shocked everyone. The funeral was supposed to be quite simple, final. The morning sun shone bright over Greenwood Cemetery. Everything looked exactly right for Officer Marcus Thompson's funeral. Police officers stood in perfect rows, their badges gleaming. The American flag covered the white coffin, surrounded by red roses. Everything except his 7-year-old daughter. Emma wasn't standing quietly like the other mourners. She was fighting against the hands trying to hold her, her small voice cutting through the silence. "He's alive!" she screamed, pounding her fists against the coffin. "He's not in there!" The funeral director looked uncomfortable. People whispered, "Poor child, she's in shock." But Emma wasn't in shock. She was angry. A woman in black knelt down and tried to hug her. "Sweetie, your daddy is gone now. We have to say goodbye." Emma broke free and dropped to her knees beside the coffin. "He told me not to trust them," she shouted. "He said if something happened, I should remember what he told me." The entire funeral went silent. Even the priest stopped reading. Officer Rodriguez, standing in the third row, felt his stomach drop. He had worked with Marcus Thompson for 10 years. They were partners, best friends, brothers. Rodriguez had been there the night Marcus died. He had seen the burned car. He had helped carry the body bag. But Emma's words made his blood run cold. 3 days earlier, the department received devastating news. Officer Marcus Thompson had been killed in an explosion while chasing gang members on Route 44. The blast was so intense that his car was completely destroyed. The body was burned beyond recognition. Captain Williams from Internal Affairs handled the scene personally. He ordered the body moved quickly, saying the remains were too traumatic for the family to see. No autopsy was done, no DNA testing. The department wanted to honor their fallen officer with dignity and speed. But now, looking at Emma's tear-streaked face, Rodriguez began to question everything. The little girl looked up at the crowd of adults. Her voice was smaller now, but determined. "Please," she begged, "open it, just once. If you really loved my daddy, you would look." Rodriguez stepped forward before he realized what he was doing. "I want it opened," he said firmly. The funeral director blinked in surprise. "Officer Rodriguez, we don't typically—" "I said open it, now!" Rodriguez had been a cop for 15 years. He knew when something was wrong. Captain Williams, standing in the back, suddenly spoke up. "Rodriguez, this is highly irregular. The family has been through enough." But Rodriguez was already moving toward the coffin. "Emma is family, and she's asking us to look." He turned to the funeral director. "Open it." It took several minutes to remove the flowers and fold back the flag. The funeral director's hands shook as he unlocked the brass latches. When he lifted the heavy lid, gasps filled the morning air. The man in the coffin wore Marcus Thompson's uniform. He had the same brown hair, the same build, but his face was wrong in ways that made Rodriguez's heart race. This man's nose was crooked. Marcus had always been proud of his straight nose. This man had no scar on his chin, but Marcus had a mark from falling off his bike as a child. Most telling of all, this man's wrists were clean, but Marcus had a small seal tattoo on his left wrist, a tribute to his brother who died in the Navy. "This isn't him," Rodriguez whispered. Then louder, "This isn't Marcus!" Chaos erupted. Cameras appeared. Someone screamed. Officers rushed to block the crowd's view. Emma had gone completely still. When the noise died down, she spoke quietly. 3 weeks ago, Daddy started acting scared. He would check our door locks twice. He told me that if anything happened to him, and people wanted to bury him fast, I should stop them. He said bad people might try to trick everyone. Rodriguez knelt beside her, his hands shaking. "Emma, did your daddy say who was scaring him?" She nodded slowly. "Someone from work. Someone who wore the same uniform but wasn't as good like him." The words hit Rodriguez like a punch. A corrupt cop. Marcus had suspected a corrupt cop. Now Rodriguez remembered that Marcus had been acting strange before his death. He missed roll call twice. He stopped joining other officers for drinks. When asked, Marcus said he was working on something about weapons being stolen from evidence. Marcus had found problems in confiscation reports. Weapons that should have been destroyed were showing up at crime scenes. Serial numbers that should have been gone were appearing in gang shootings. "I brought it to the captain," Marcus had told Rodriguez. "He said he'd handle it personally." Captain Williams, the same man who handled Marcus's death scene, the same man who rushed the burial, the same man now standing at the back, his face pale, eyes looking toward the exit. Rodriguez remembered a strange phone call 4 days ago. Marcus's number had called him, but when he answered, no one spoke. He heard wind or traffic noise, then the line went dead. Now he realized it might have been a call for help. "Emma," Rodriguez said gently, "did your daddy have any secret hiding places?" She nodded immediately. "He has a secret phone in his toolbox in the garage. He told me about it after Mommy died. He said if anything happened to him, I should tell someone about it." A backup phone. If Marcus was investigating corruption, he would need a secure way to communicate. 2 hours later, Rodriguez and Emma stood in Marcus's garage. Inside the red toolbox, beneath the tools, Rodriguez found a small black phone wrapped in plastic. When he turned it on, there was one voicemail. The timestamp showed 3:49 a.m. on the night Marcus disappeared. His official death time was 7:19 p.m., 4 hours later. Rodriguez pressed play, and Marcus's voice filled the garage. "If you're hearing this, I was right about everything. Captain Williams isn't just covering up the weapons theft, he's running it. I have proof. Photos of serial numbers and fake destruction reports. I'm getting more evidence tonight, but if something happens, look in my bedroom closet, behind the shoebox on the top shelf." "Rodriguez, don't trust anyone else at the department. Williams has other people working with him. Watch Emma for me. Tell her I love her." Rodriguez's hands shook as he set the phone down. Emma looked up with wide eyes. "He's not really dead, is it?" she asked. "I don't know, sweetheart, but we're going to find out." They found the evidence exactly where Marcus said. Behind the shoebox was a manila envelope with photographs of weapons, fake destruction orders, and bank statements showing regular deposits into Captain Williams' account, deposits matching dates when weapons were reported destroyed. Rodriguez called the FBI. Special Agent Sarah Chen arrived within an hour, listened to the voicemail, examined the evidence, and immediately put out a warrant for Williams's arrest. But Williams was gone. His house was empty, his car missing, his bank accounts closed. The search for Marcus began immediately. If he wasn't dead, he was in serious danger. Agent Chen organized teams to search every abandoned building within 50 miles. For 3 days, they found nothing. Then, at 5:45 a.m. on the 4th day, Forest Ranger Tom Mitchell heard knocking at his station. He opened the door to find a man collapsed on the steps. The man was barely conscious. His clothes were torn, his face sunburned and scratched, his hands bloody, his feet bare. When Tom asked his name, the man whispered, "Marcus Thompson, police officer, need help." Marcus's story was a nightmare. The night he disappeared, someone called claiming to have information about the weapons theft. The caller said he was a gang member wanting to make a deal, information for immunity. He insisted on meeting at an abandoned warehouse, saying cops were involved and he didn't know who to trust. Marcus knew it was risky to go alone, but he agreed. The warehouse was dark when he arrived. He walked in with his gun drawn, calling for the informant. That's when someone hit him from behind. He woke up in a concrete pit 8 feet deep. His hands were zip-tied, his ankle chained to a pipe. There was no way to climb out. Captain Williams appeared at the edge of the pit. "You should have minded your own business, Thompson," Williams said coldly. "The weapons program made everyone rich, but you had to play hero." Williams explained they had planned to kill Marcus and make it look like a gang shooting, but they had a better idea. They would blow up his car with a different body. someone who had outlived his usefulness. Marcus would get a hero's funeral, and Williams would get away clean. "The problem is you need to disappear permanently," Williams had said. They left Marcus in the pit with just enough food and water for a few days, planning to let him die slowly. But Marcus was a fighter. He had survived Afghanistan before becoming a cop. He wasn't giving up, especially with Emma counting on him. For 2 days, he worked on the zip ties, rubbing them against rough concrete until they broke. Then he used a broken pipe piece to work on the ankle chain. It took hours, but he finally broke free. The warehouse was empty when he climbed out. With no shoes, no phone, and no idea which direction led to safety, Marcus started walking. He followed a stream, hoping it would lead to civilization. He walked for a day and night, hiding from vehicles, drinking stream water, eating berries. On the second day, he found a road. Instead of flagging down cars, not knowing who might work with Williams, he followed the road to what looked like a park entrance. That's how he reached the ranger station, more dead than alive, but determined to get back to his daughter. The hospital reunion was unforgettable. Emma had been staying with her grandmother, but Rodriguez brought her when Marcus was found. When Emma saw her father on the stretcher, she let out a scream of pure joy. "Daddy!" she cried, running to him. Marcus's eyes opened at her voice. Despite his injuries and exhaustion, he smiled. "Hey there, little detective. I heard you solved the case." Emma grabbed his hand tight. "I knew you weren't gone. I knew it wasn't you in that box." Marcus looked at Rodriguez, tears in his eyes. "Thank you for listening to her." Captain Williams' arrest made national headlines. FBI agents found him 3 days later trying to cross into Mexico with cash and false papers. They discovered evidence of the weapons scheme going back 5 years, plus proof of 3 other cover-ups. The investigation expanded to 6 other officers and 2 evidence technicians. The scandal led to complete overhaul of evidence procedures. Marcus testified before Congress 6 months later, telling how his daughter saved his life by refusing to believe he was dead. His testimony helped pass new federal legislation requiring independent oversight of police evidence. The most meaningful moment came 1 year after his fake funeral. The department held a ceremony in the same cemetery, unveiling a memorial garden with a plaque reading, "Emma's voice, a daughter's love can move mountains, open coffins, and save lives." Marcus never returned to active duty. He opened a foundation called Emma's Hope, supporting children of killed or wrongfully accused officers. Every morning in his office, he looked at a framed photo, Emma at his fake funeral, standing defiantly beside the coffin, refusing to say goodbye. She had been right. He was never gone. Because as long as someone loves you enough to fight for truth, you're never really lost. Emma grew up to become a police officer herself, but she never forgot the lesson. When something doesn't feel right, speak up, even if adults tell you to be quiet. Because truth has a way of fighting back. And sometimes it speaks through the voice of a 7-year-old girl who knows her daddy better than anyone else in the world. This proves that every little voice matters. What do you think of this story? If you enjoyed it, leave a like and comment below where you're watching from. Also, subscribe for more amazing content like this. We hope to see you again.